describe your emotions coming into this weekend and how busy the build-up has been? Perhaps, Pierre, if we start with you.
Yeah, it's. I think we are pretty lucky because we didn't have the French Grand Prix for many years. Just came back in the calendar last year as I started my first full season in F1. So no, I just feel pretty lucky to have this chance to have a home race, and with the crowd, I think France has been always part of the sport. So it's great to have it back, and I'm just really excited for the weekend.
How's the build-up been for you? I think you were playing football last night, weren't you?
Yeah, we played for Jules, so there was this soccer game for Jules Association with all the family. So yeah, just was nice to get all together on the pitch and just to remember him.
And Romain, how's the build-up been for you?
Yeah, so far it's been quiet and good. Media duty today is a bit more than normal, but no, nothing too crazy. So happy to be enjoying the time and the south of France weather, which is good, and hopefully have a nice event this weekend. I'm hoping that here we get a good. The package works well. We get the tires to work correctly, and if that's the case, there should be a track that works quite nicely for us. So I'm hoping we're gonna give the midfield a hard time and why not even Red Bull and see where we can end up the weekend.
Pierre, what are your expectations coming into this French Grand Prix?
So yeah, we have a new spec, third spec Honda. So I think the last we introduced was more on the reliability side. This one will be a bit more focused on the performance, but we don't expect a massive gain from it. So I think the overall performance will be slightly increased, but yeah, it's not like it's gonna change massively, or we're gonna catch the team side of us massively. So yeah, let's see what we can do during the weekend, but it will give us a bit more in the race. It's not gonna be massively different in qualifying, but a bit more in the race.
Antonio, it was a difficult weekend for the team in Canada. How confident are you of making a step forward here?
Yeah, of course, the last 3 races, I would say, we struggled a little bit more, especially compared to the first part of the season. But, I think, like I say, midfield is really tight, so small details can make a difference. So we are trying to find the details, and, with a small, few tenths, you can jump quite a lot of cars. So we are working really hard with the team. I believe in my team. I think the team is believing in me, and we need to work hard and find the last details for the good result.
Thank you, Antonio. Good luck this weekend. Carlos, coming on to you, I'd like to take you back to Canada as well. How hard was that race for you, and what lessons have been learned by you and McLaren?
Yeah, it was hard, especially because it was unexpected, no? And when you go through unexpected circumstances, you definitely have to improvise a bit. So we didn't want to pit in lap 3, but unfortunately, one of these T-rovs got stuck in my brake duct, which meant I had to pit, remove it, and try and finish in the points on a 67 lap stint. It nearly worked. We were 5 seconds away of race time from making it. Still think if we would have done a perfect job, we could have still finished in the points. So the whole weekend was a bit messy since Saturday, and we missed out in a good points opportunity. So I think we've learned from it. We know what we need to do better for France, and yeah, hopefully we can improve it.
Nico, thank you for waiting. Your thoughts on this midfield battle?
This weekend is important and a big one for us. But I think the approach is like every other race. You keep calm and do what you have to do. Go through the ranks on Friday and Saturday. But of course, we want to have another strong finish here and team result like Canada.
Carlos, how confident are you of taking the fight to Renault this weekend?
Well, I'm confident we can take the fight. It's going to be difficult because I still think teams like Renault or Haas in qualifying, they have a bit more than us compared to us. So it means that we need to do a better job on Sundays. But it's a good fun because, it's quite an intense battle. It's super close. Qualifying is incredibly tight and tense in Q2 and Q3. You see drivers always finding the last limit, making small mistakes, and that can give you the opportunity, So I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a great battle, and I still think we need to do better job on Sundays because Saturdays are a bit more difficult for us.
For Nico Hülkenberg, could you update on the car? do you think you would be able to offer the first podium to Renault here in France and the first podium for you too?
I would love to, but I think that's still quite some distance away. It is true we have some updates here, but I'm sure other teams, bring new things as well. But I'm curious, obviously, as to how it helps our car. Hopefully, we can take a step towards the top 3 teams, and eventually at some point this year make their lives harder. But for us, the main target of the season is really to become clearly 4th team, and this upgrade is just a part of the journey, part of the process of that year.
There's been a lot of debate about the penalty given to Sebastian Vettel following his fight with Lewis Hamilton in Canada. I just wondered what your thoughts were on it, and whether you feel there needs to be perhaps a revision of the rules at all, and does it stifle you from having more hard racing?
Nico, can we start with you, please?
There was a penalty. I did not notice that in the press.
I think everything that we do on track has got a line and a rule, and then it's very hard to deviate from those. I believe there are too many guidelines with penalty that are applying to that guideline, and sometimes 2 penalty that can be very different, or 2 incidents that can be very different, end up with the same penalty. I think, like any other Formula 1 fan, I was disappointed when I saw the penalty. First of all, because as a driver, I think I would have done exactly the same as Seb. You would just rejoin the track and try and keep first position independently of where the other car is at. Was it dangerous? Potentially, but what's not dangerous in Formula 1? There's always a bit of danger. You're always close to the walls. And I think at any point, Lewis was under real threat of having a huge accident, so there was not... I think there was no reason to give a penalty, but the rule is written and the stewards applied the rule. Talking of Seb, I think he's the only one to know if he could have controlled the car better and leave more room on the right-hand side. We do not know. We do not have access to his telemetry. And I think only Seb knows if he actually saw Lewis, went on throttle under the grass and made his way fully to the right or not. So I won't discuss penalty or not. I think it's not my job, but I can only say that Seb knows if he could have left more room or not.
Thank you. Pierre?
Yeah, I agree with what has been said, but I think it's really tough when you cross the line first on track, and then after we tell you you're second. So I think it depends which perspective you look at it. I think if you look at Seb's side, for sure, it's really tough and really harsh penalty. If you look at Lewis, you say maybe I could have won the race without this incident. But I think at the end of the day, when you race Formula 1 cars at that speed, pushing to the limit, these things happen, and it's part of racing. So it's difficult to draw a line, but yeah, I think for me it was quite harsh to lose a victory that way.